Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Shahbaz Gill to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Shahbaz Gill's words. First of all, considering today's date, it is the death anniversary of Amir, the dictator, the one who broke the constitution, General Zia-ul-Haq. We will begin with this, because today's era, practically in every sense, is nothing but an extension of General Zia-ul-Haq. A new Zia-ul-Haq stands before us in the form of Field Marshal Asim Munir. And those who are supporters of Zia-ul-Haq or the small poisonous plants that he planted have today grown into mighty trees. They have developed so much that from simple sweets they have reached the level of imported delicacies. New times, new weapons, new performers will put everything before you. First of all, 17th August 1988. That was the day Zia-ul-Haq's plane crashed. Even to this day, many mysterious stories surround it. Those who knew him closely believe that for at least a few weeks or even months before his death, he had become extremely restless. He was irritable, angry, deeply worried, and paranoid. He suspected that people had infiltrated his inner circle and would kill him. He never said in exact words that I will be killed in the next few weeks, but he often spoke of being assassinated. Those who met him in his final days later recalled in television interviews that he feared he would be killed. If we look at the events of that day, we're also showing you some video. These were his last interactions. He had gone to Bahawalpur to witness a tank exercise. Strangely enough, he took along the American ambassador to Pakistan, and also Brigadier General Herbert M. Wassam, the U.S. defense attaché at the embassy in Islamabad. Now, in the US, a brigadier general is equivalent to a one-star general, similar to our brigadier. So both the ambassador and the US brigadier general accompanied him to Bahawalpur. Analysts believe Zia took them along deliberately, perhaps because he had some fear regarding this trip and thought their presence might protect him. Today you see Maryam Nawaz holding a steel glass in her hand. Well, I say, Zia didn't hold a glass, he held an American brigadier general and ambassador. But time was written, and God had to take account of his injustices. He had to leave this world. People often say one should not speak ill of the dead. That is true for ordinary individuals. For personal grievances one should forgive. But when it comes to public oppressors, Pharaoh, Abu Jahl, we speak of them because their crimes were against entire nations. Zia-ul-Haq's case is the same. Some people say he also did some good. Of course, if you even let a blind man drive a bus, he will end up doing something good by accident, like greeting passengers or turning on the air conditioning. But the destruction and oppression he caused is what remains before us. On that day, Zia boarded a C-130 aircraft, a plane considered very safe. As I said, the American ambassador and Brigadier General Wassam were also with him, along with 6 Pakistani generals, including ISI Chief General Akhtar Abdul Rahman. After the crash, countless conspiracy theories emerged. Eyewitnesses who saw the plane descending said it swayed strangely, like a drunk person staggering. Experts argue that if there had been a bomb, the aircraft would have exploded mid-air. Instead, it dove nose first, suggesting the pilots lost consciousness. One theory is that some chemical was placed inside the aircraft. Zia loved mangoes, and since August is mango season, crates of mangoes were loaded onto the plane. It is said the chemical was hidden among them, which leaked, causing everyone to pass out and leading to the crash. This remains speculation. Nothing was proven. Interestingly, because Americans also died, the US offered to jointly investigate the crash, but Pakistan refused. No open and fair investigation was allowed. The black box, which is almost always recovered from accidents, was not found. Some say it was deliberately hidden. Reportedly, traces of chemicals were found in the pilots' autopsies, but again, Pakistan never gave an official stance. International media claimed it, but ultimately no one knows with certainty what truly happened. A few months before his death, Zia had dismissed Prime Minister Junejo's government. He was fully confident he wasn't going anywhere. Journalist Zafar Abbas once noted that even a week or two before the crash in a finance ministry meeting, Zia said, "I'm still here, I'm not leaving." He had no plans of returning Pakistan to democracy, but fate decided otherwise. If he did any good, God may have rewarded him, but chances of that are slim. If he did evil, punishment surely awaited him. Normally, when dictators fall, they think the whole world will collapse with them. But life goes on. If you look at the Nawa-i-Waqt newspaper, the one most loyal to Zia, it carried business-as-usual headlines the next day. Habib Bank Limited's advertisement was printed like any ordinary day. There wasn't even a moment where it felt like the world had stopped. But Zia left behind a gift, the Sharif family. The poisonous seed he planted, well, it grew into a tree that destroyed institutions, spread corruption, shattered merit, and promoted the incompetent to higher ranks. Just as Zia did, the Sharifs multiplied it. Those unqualified, who weren't fit for grade 11 jobs, were raised to grade 17, then 19, then 20, turning into loyal servants willing to do anything, even kill for their masters. This is how Punjab police was corrupted. In the early 1990s, a Punjab IG submitted a report to the Lahore High Court exposing how thousands of PMLN workers were recruited into the police force, politicising it completely. Institutions collapsed, corruption flourished, moral values were destroyed. Land mafias and sugar mafias thrived. Today, sugar scandals alone have caused losses of hundreds of billions. Even the Supreme Court had to call the Sharif family a Sicilian mafia. And you saw what happened to the judiciary later, especially after that disgraceful decision in March and April 2023, when Imran Khan was moving towards elections. That one decision dug the judges' own graves. Anyway, what they did later with the rest of the judges is also before you. It truly was a Sicilian mafia. After that, only one institution of Pakistan was left untouched. That was the Pakistan Army. Imran Khan repeatedly kept warning that they wanted to politicize the Pakistan Army in the same way they had politicized the Punjab police. Now, I don't even need to say much. When Rangers open direct fire on people, when army units shoot their own citizens in political rallies, their mission has been completed. They didn't leave any gaps. They even succeeded in politicizing the army. And today, the way General Asim Munir is siding with them and using the institution of the army for their interests, we've probably never seen such an example before. But one must admit, the Sharif family worked hard for this. Mian Sharif, the father of Nawaz Sharif, was, of course, a traditional man, a businessman, cunning and very sharp. He understood the ways of that era. Back then, gifting laddus and paydas was common practice. Many eyewitnesses recount that Nawaz Sharif himself, fair-skinned, Kashmiri background, quite handsome like a rasgulla, I don't say this in mockery, would carry boxes of laddus and paydas. He would stand outside General Gilani's office and his father would say, "Son, give laddus and paydas. Your wish will be granted." And indeed, their wish was granted. General Gilani first made him finance minister, then chief minister, and with General Zia-ul-Haq's patronage, he became Prime Minister. And what else he became is all before you. His daughter later learned the same ways. That poisonous plant planted by Zia grew into a poisonous tree, and more fruits grew on it. His daughter also learned the same, but of course times had changed. Computers came, globalization came, and awareness of new things grew. So where earlier there were laddus and paydas, the next generation, Maryam Nawaz, became Dolce and Gabbana. Today, Madam Maryam may not even be able to spell Dolce and Gabbana, but she has hired a lady who guides her. What shoes to wear with which dress, what shopping to do. Maryam doesn't shop herself. Lists are made, passed on to ministers or others, who then arrange her designer bags and shoes. Now there are some brands in America like Hermes. They don't sell bags to just anyone. Even if you have $10 million, you can't just walk in and buy their $50,000 bag. They keep it exclusive. You must be a long-time customer before they even offer you a bag. It sounds strange, but it's true. They even have waiting lists. Nowadays, waiting lists for the waiting list. In California, a woman even sued Hermes because she kept buying from them in hopes of being offered a bag. But they didn't, so she took them to court. Now, I request all my sisters in Pakistan, please don't take this as an excuse to run after your husbands demanding a Hermes bag. I only shared this to explain exclusivity, not to encourage chaos at home. Anyway, Maryam Nawaz gets such exclusive bags through contacts. In London, there is a woman with access to such items. The fashion consultant that Maryam has, call her a stylist or a mentor, travels with her everywhere, does all her shopping, and arranges even these exclusive items through contacts. That Pakistani woman, not related to Maryam, benefits a lot in Pakistan with special treatment because of this access. But that's another story. So the journey from laddus to Dolce and Gabbana is quite something. I can't use the word Chanel with Maryam's name. There's some restriction. Someone warned me I'd be fined if I did. But other brands, yes, you can say anything. The point is, the journey that began with Nawaz Sharif's laddus ended up at Maryam Nawaz's Dolce and Gabbana, and the damage to Pakistan is before you. Now, moving forward, Maryam Nawaz recently arrived in Tokyo. Pictures are before you. It was at a resort in the sea, so no protesters could reach there. Entry required invitations, bookings so irrelevant people couldn't go anyway. In a way, she turned herself into a submarine, deep in the water, safe from protest. Honestly, Maryam Sahiba, you could have just told us. We would have told people not to protest. You went through all this secrecy unnecessarily. Thankfully, you didn't take PMLN workers to Mars for a rally. We don't have the resources to send protesters there. Another interesting detail. The hotel where Maryam and her group stayed in Tokyo had them on the 8th floor. Maryam's assigned room number was 804. Now, she rarely reads or pays attention, but when she saw 804, she refused to stay in it. There were 3 such rooms on that level. She was shifted to another one. The 804 room is currently occupied, possibly by Maryam Aurangzeb or someone else in the group. But Maryam Nawaz flatly refused that room, so that's the Tokyo situation. Some of our people may protest outside on the streets, but reaching that venue is impossible since it's in the sea. Honestly, people should just fold their hands and leave her be, lest our sister suffers some mishap at sea. Now, I must say something about Captain Safdar someday. The more I've learned about him, the more I've started respecting him. I don't say this in jest, genuinely. Despite all my political differences, he stood on principle, not just before outsiders, but even in front of his wife and family. And he paid the price for it. I'll explain in detail another day, but I truly respect that man for showing principle in front of such a powerful family. Lastly, another news item, the Madni Mosque, built in 1927, was not only demolished, but hundreds of Qurans were desecrated. Now tell me, which is the bigger crime? This or the attack on the Lahore Corps Commander House? I'm not saying this. Maulana Fazlur Rahman's colleague Hafiz Hamdullah said it. He asked, who will apologize for this? This is Pakistan's tragedy. We create mental taboos and perceptions without questioning them. For example, the Corps Commander House in Lahore was originally Quaid-e-Azam's property. He wrote letters demanding its possession but was refused. If that house was illegally acquired, isn't it encroachment? Of course it is. Quaid later donated his property to the Awqaf, so the house should have gone to Awqaf or been turned into a museum in his memory. Instead, it became the Corps Commander House. That was an illegal acquisition. Yet, when it comes to mosques, we justify demolitions saying it was built on encroached land. But the Corps Commander House wasn't encroachment? This double standard is plain. Many societies in Islamabad, Lahore and elsewhere sit on encroached land too. Anyway, this is today's round of news. There were more stories I wanted to share, but my energy is a bit low today. With all the travel and pressure, I can't put up too much detail or too many stories at once, so please bear with me sometimes. That wraps up our translation of Shahbaz Gill's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.